So the primary two teaching models that I want you to understand first are what we call Cooper's colour codes and also the UC game plan. First of all, Cooper's colour codes. So credit for Cooper's colour codes goes to Colonel Jeff Cooper, who was a combat pistol instructor to the US Marine Corps during the 60s. Very famous shooter, very famous instructor, and he devised the colour codes or colour conditions as a means to depict varying states of awareness, okay, in terms of threat detection. But condition white is a completely switched off state. So where you see most people, so like I said, somebody texting on their phone, you know, with earbuds in. The worst example I've ever seen, which was in Holland, a woman was riding a fucking bicycle, reading a book. I couldn't believe how she could multitask, but she certainly wouldn't have seen an oncoming threat. But the point is, the person is fixated on some tiny detail. And of course, the mobile phone is the worst culprit for it, because everybody has this, you know, tech neck where their head is down here looking in this little tiny box. So their actual field of awareness, if you like, is small, rather than coming out and recognizing the rest of the world. So it's very important that you're not switched off. But if you're in condition white, you know, when you're out and about, then like you look very attractive to a victim. So condition white is totally switched off. We need condition white at particular times because it's decompression time. You need to chill out, you need to relax. So in the safety and comfort of your home, when you're watching, you know, whatever you're watching with your family on the sofa, you would be relaxed, you know, not cognitive of anything in particular. This would be condition white. And of course, condition white when you sleep. Then if somebody knocked on the door, you would raise up to a high level of awareness. Where condition white doesn't belong is when you're out and about in your daily life, and particularly if you're anywhere that could be potentially problematic. So as soon as you leave your door every day, the idea would be switch to condition yellow. Condition yellow is a state of awareness, relaxed alertness, where you're most likely to spot anything out of the ordinary, and you're aware of what's behind you and what's in front of you. Now you're most likely to see anything problematic before it becomes problematic. Well, if you go about your daily life like that in a habitual sense, you can cultivate a high level of awareness very quickly. And if nothing really happens in your day-to-day life and everything is yonky-dory, everything will be fine. Because in condition white, you've got your resting heart rate. In condition yellow, if you're alert and aware but everything is good, you've got your resting heart rate. But where things start to go awry is if you're alerted to a potential threat or a problem. So let's say that some guy across the road's made harsh eye contact. Then he looks to talk to his two friends next to him and they all group look at you. They all give you a hard stare. So picture that again. Hard stare, group communication to group hard stare. Now they're all looking at you. Well, how much more fucking information than that do you need to know that you've got a problem coming? So at this point you should have it on your toes, made possible by awareness. But understand that when you notice that potential threat directed at you, you've just gone from condition yellow to condition orange. So from a state of awareness to a state of alarm. When that happens, the physiological effects of adrenaline will start to kick in. So the amygdala in your brain, which is the threat detecting organ in the brain, will set off a signal that you've got danger, and then various other physiological effects will start to kick in. Raised heart rate, vision will start to tunnel, auditory exclusion, shaking in your legs, shallow breathing, etc., etc. Okay? So that will impair your performance. If, let's say, the three lads cross the road and are now moving towards you and you've got no escape route immediately, well, that should trigger condition red. And condition red is action, fight or flight, if you like. So you either want to run like fuck, or you want to pick up something, or you want to fight, or you just want to engage in violence now. But the point is, you will need to act. So to recap, condition white, switched off state, only belongs in your own home or when you're asleep. Condition yellow, how you should live your life. They say live in yellow. Alert and aware, so you're most likely to get some intel before any problematic situation escalates. Condition orange would be you've recognised a potential threat and now you're alarmed. Well, if there's enough time for this, you can control this with breathing to control your heart rate. You can get your head right, you could potentially put yourself in an extracted position so you can make an exit, or you could arm yourself potentially so you have a better capability of dealing with the problem. In short, the more time you have to recognise a problem, the more preparation and opportunity you'll provide yourself with. Condition red relates to taking action. Now I need to run or I need to fight and engage. That's the Cooper's colour codes. Sometime later, added by the US Marine Corps, they added condition black. And condition black for the military context is different to what it means in a civilian context. So in a military context, it means, you know, the low on ammunition, enemies closing in, we're all fucked, but fuck it, let's go out in a blaze of glory. Whereas in a civilian sense, what it means is that you are so overridden with the emotional feeling that's unfamiliar to you that your heart rate escalates beyond a level that you can control. And now what comes from that is a sense of foreboding, an emotional breakdown, and complete shutdown. This is what you must avoid at all cases. So anyone that's not trained within a self-protection or combative sense, that is suddenly faced with violence and they freeze to the spot, hypervigilant, completely inactive, this is condition black. And it really does come from a lack of understanding of what's going on. So it's important that you understand Cooper's colour codes, and you understand that the best state for you to be in a sense when you're out and about, is one where you could see something coming, and this would be condition yellow.